intro video. All right. So we are officially live. Chris and Tanya with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal in Southeast Florida, joined by Matt and Jojo with Sonoma Strong Hauling in Sonoma County, California. Thank you both for joining us. If you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about you guys and an intro.
Do you want to tell everyone how you actually know Matt and Jojo?
All right. So back in 2021, we guys were supposed to have the original Haulers Ball. We didn't want to cancel all of our tickets and hotel reservations, so we came out and we're like, hey, we're going to be coming out anyways. Can we still meet for dinner or something? And we were going to treat you guys to dinner for taking your time. And we came out and we met you guys at the, what was it, the Kettle something?
Yeah, Cattleman's.
Yeah, it was Cattleman's.
Cattleman's. Talked a little bit about business and kind of where we were at, what we were struggling with. I was still using the U-Hauls back then, so doing everything solo. And I think it kind of just came down to, it was a little bit of a motivation push just to go ahead and get things started. Because we went out for a trip, and then when we came back, I got the truck and we got the trailer right away.
Well, yeah, I feel like Chris is leaving a few details out because if you guys remember, you guys were going to hold the ball, and it was going to be a huge event. And I was still very new with Chris, and Chris was still doing the junk removal part-time, but had just moved into full-time with the U-Hauls. And it got canceled because of COVID. Everyone knew at that time we couldn't hold parties a certain amount. So unfortunately, you guys had to cancel, which this was when you're getting really big on YouTube. I remember it's exciting. So you had that huge success and you wanted to share the love, and that was really cool. And Chris was actually super nervous. I don't know how much you guys know because this was way back, but we were just like, okay, cancel the trip, whatever. And I told Chris, like, why not reach out to Matt? Like, he seems cool. Why don't you just let him know, like, you're coming out anyway, let's make a trip out of it, see if you guys can meet up, and here's someone who you look up to, see if he's willing to meet. And thank goodness you guys are super humble and nice, and you're willing to meet. And they treated us to dinner. They actually treated us to dinner that night, and that was super cool. And we got to talk, and I would say that's a monumental moment in Chris getting a truck, because it was that little push he needed talking to you guys. So that was really appreciated, and it was a great trip, and I remember it, and ever since we're always like, oh, we know Matt and Jojo,
Right.
Yeah. Since then. So that's how we met. So
Yeah, it's crazy because we're going to throw the event, the Haulers Ball, and then I think a week before the event or something like that, COVID happened. It was on the news, Sonoma County, you can't be around people, the virus is spreading. Yeah. And we're like, oh shit, we had everything planned out, the event place, and yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah. But we're still throwing events. They're just at a bigger, larger scale.
Oh yeah, now you guys have upgraded. That was like little stuff.
Yeah. There's like a little get together.
Exactly. So we definitely benefited off of that time, even though it was really crappy. We would have loved to meet all the guys from the junk removal company, but we still got some one-on-one time, which was great. And now you guys have such bigger events, which we'll talk about. So I'll let you get back to your meet Matt and Jojo.
So yeah, if you guys want to introduce yourself, or anyone maybe coming from our side, I know you guys.
Yeah.
A little bit about your background, what you do, and a little bit about the expo coming up.
Yeah, so we're Sonoma Strong Hauling and Junk Removal.
So I'm Sonoma, she's the Strong, just so you guys know.
We live in Sonoma County, California, and started a junk business, a little over 7 years ago?
Yeah, I would say about 7 years ago. And the crazy thing is, I used to hop on the back of the dump truck when I was a young kid. The garbage truck would come down our street, and I would hop on the back of it and ride it. And my mom used to cuss me out and yell at me like, Matt, you can't be doing that. And I told her, the cat threw me off right there.
Sorry.
I wanted to be a garbage man. And guess what? I'm living my dream now.
Yeah.
So we live in Sonoma County. We have a YouTube channel with over 40,000 subscribers, which I never thought people would want to watch us pick up trash. Yeah. I think they want to look at the Jojo, not me. It's probably her and many people are following us.
No. Yeah. There's a lot of other couples that have started junk removal businesses, and we like to say that we had something to do with that. So, and I love it. I love it. I love what we do. It's fun. Every day is something new. Like right now, literally in the driveway, I have 5 really nice dining chairs that, I put on Facebook Marketplace, and maybe they'll be gone by tonight. You
just don't know.
You across the best stuff and interesting people, and every day is different. It's not the same thing, so it's one of the things I love about junk removal.
And back in the day, we had no idea how much money was in the trash business. Before, I was working a shitty job. I was just trying to get ahead in life, trying to make a couple extra grand a month. And we started the trash business with a pickup truck. And I was posting on Craigslist, getting a couple phone calls. I met some realtors, started getting a little bit of business. Then it just took off. I was like, holy shit, Jojo, there's a lot of money in the junk business. My goal was to make $300 a day. Then it ended up being like $1,000 a day. Then I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, you can do it.
You can do it. We
really
had no idea.
You can set goals and reach them. And this is, trash.
Yeah. What do you think was like that? Do you remember the moment where you realized, okay, this isn't just a side gig or a side hustle. Like this is our dream. This is our career. Like the moment you're like, we're going to get a dump truck. We're going to grow. We're going to scale. Where was that time
I think it was at least a year. A year and a half. When the work just comes in consistently and you're not nervous about it anymore. It's not your side hustle anymore. It's your first full-time gig, and you know that your phone's gonna always be ringing. It took time. It
took some time. The money started coming in. I was like, damn, we're making like doctor money, nurse money. And at the time, I was still on probation. So I'm gonna keep it raw and uncut on this for you guys. I was on probation and I had to give my mom the money. I was dropping money off to my mom, like $2 grand here, $5 grand here, 10 grand here. She's like, man, you can't meet me at the store handing me all this money and shit. I said, Mom, you got to hold this. I don't want probation coming by the house and wondering what the hell I'm doing. So that was like the aha moment to me. I'm like, holy shit, we're making doctor money, nurse money. Mm-hmm. That was when I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, because, he was still on probation. He's like, oh, if they come over to here to do a check, no one's going to believe that I got this legally, right? But yeah,
it is what it is. But I'm a changed man now, just so you guys know.
And Mama don't have the money.
No more. She ain't got the money no more.
You guys got the money now.
Yeah, and we started it in an apartment complex, and we were able to buy a house in California like 4 years later.
Yep.
All because of the junk business, which there's not many businesses you can start and do something like that. And you know how it is in California. House prices aren't cheap. No. And we were able to throw 20% down on the house we live in now. Oh, my phone's ringing.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because most businesses, I don't remember like what the saying is, but they fail within like the first like year or two. And then it takes 4 years to even get to break even. So the fact that you guys were able to grow so fast is exponential.
Well, one thing we did is we did it all organic. Sorry about that. My dad needs to learn not to keep calling when don't answer the phone.
I just called too.
Hey, my dad, he's calling right now. What he'll do is he'll keep calling until I pick up. So let's see how many times he calls.
Okay.
I just texted and called right after. I'm like, if I didn't answer the text, I'm not going to answer the call. So that's funny.
But one thing we did was we didn't really pay for ads besides like Craigslist. So we did everything organic, and that really helped us stack a lot of money. Like me and the Jojo, she like printed out the flyers for us from her old job. So she was still in the paper from her old job in the ink, printing out flyers.
It's not the paper. I bought my own paper.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I did yellow paper.
We could have saved more money then.
I would have gotten in a lot of trouble if they knew that, my time down was, using their copy machine.
So for any of your viewers out there, just know if you have a pickup truck, you can make a lot of money. You don't need a dump truck. You don't need the best equipment. All you got to do is look professional, clean, and have a hustle. I know you got to hustle. We got to hustle. And as long as you put that in action and you're a salesperson, you can sell yourself, the sky's the limit.
And consistent. doing it, finding out what works, and doing it over and over. And even when you don't feel like doing it, even when your schedule's completely booked out and you can't even take on any more jobs, never let your foot off the gas, and always just, keep advertising, and just every day. You have a 10 post every day rule.
Yeah. So what I do is I post 10 times a day, no matter what. That can be on Facebook on a story. That can be one on Instagram, one on Nextdoor, one on LinkedIn. We're posting on YouTube. I'm feeding my Google My Business. I'm at least posting 10 times a day. I'm staying active all the time. And that's one thing you got to do, because the game is changing. AI is changing the game. So if you want to show up on AI, you got to be posting consistently everywhere. You want to be feeding everything just so you pop up. And if you look up Santa Rosa junk removal companies, we pop up for YouTube. We pop up everywhere. So that's one reason why we stay so busy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a hidden gem, because I think it's easy for a lot of companies or business owners to pump the brakes when they're busy. They stop going to realtors' offices, they stop posting, they stop trying to get jobs organically because they're so busy. So the fact that no matter what, you still stick on it, you still do 10 posts a day is a really good thing, even a reminder for ourselves, because I think even us, we get busy. We're not even focusing anymore on doing more. And so it's important to have that consistency throughout. So
yeah, it's one of the ways people that are off the truck start to really grow. Yeah. Right. It's, once you hire employees and you get off the truck, you're free to network, and you're free to go to all the businesses, and you're free to like post and create content and stuff. And, we've not done that. We're still on the truck, but we're doing that also, so it's a constant thing, because in the morning you do all your posts and stuff. And then throughout the day, we're taking pictures while we're at jobs, and we're recording ourselves. And so it's like, yeah, it's one of the things that we say, that your job's not done when you've taken the junk away. Part of your job is taking pictures while you're at the job.
Great.
Yeah, that makes sense, because we were better the first couple of months, and then the busier we got, the more distracted we got. But what we would do is, like when we're at home, I would go on social media, do Nextdoor, do Facebook. And then because I'm the one always driving and Tanya's just sitting in the passenger seat, she can go on Nextdoor and Facebook and post and do all these different things. So that way we basically have someone like all around the clock constantly marketing and advertising. And then we would still go to our networking groups. And we actually picked up another group this year. So now we're going to 2 different groups. But that's something that we were still able to keep within rotation and still keep up with. But it definitely gets busier. Like if we have like a huge clean out, like if I'm in the middle of, bringing stuff out to the truck and someone calls me, depending on the situation, I might let it go to voicemail, call them back, because I'm more focused on the job at hand. So it definitely gets put a little bit on the back burner the busier we are, especially if it's like a long 10, 12-hour day, or if we're just back and forth all around the place. It gets tricky, but it's definitely a consistency you have to keep up with.
Now, one thing that I do whenever someone calls me up and I can't answer that phone, I want to keep them on the line like I'm fishing, right? So what I'll do is I'll text them back real quick and say, hey, can I call you back in a minute? Just so they don't call the next person.
So I'm with a customer right now. I'll call you right back.
So that's a little tip right there you can do, just to keep them on the line so they don't call someone else.
That's smart, especially like if you're driving, you have like that pre-selected text you can send out.
Yeah, if I'm taking payment from a customer, if I'm busy cutting up a hot tub, anything we're doing, I'll just text them back real quick and try to keep them on the line.
That's a smart idea. You mentioned earlier how you started off, your goal was a couple of hundred, now it's a couple of thousand. How has your guys' definition of success kind of changed from day one?
I'll let you answer that, Jojo. That's a good question.
So I don't think our definition of success has changed, but our goals change, right? You're always evolving. Once you hit a goal, then you strive for something else, and it really makes life worthwhile, but personally and in business. just always having goals, personal goals that you're striving for, business goals. Actually, when you first started, your goal was it was $2,000 a month, and then it was $300 a day, and now it's over $1,000 a day, and sometimes $2,000.
So it's 3,000. So this is our goals. These are my goals that I think about all the time. So I have different kind of goals, right? Like for the junk business, it's $1,500 per vehicle. So that's $3,000 a day. That's the goal. And then when it comes to our YouTube channel, we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. We're really far away, but that's the goal, right?
That's the goal.
And then when it comes to the Junk Expo, the goal is to get 500 people in the building. So I'm always trying to achieve high, and if we don't hit it, you know what? We're going to get there sooner or later.
Yeah, and I've learned to set higher goals because of Matthew, because from the very beginning, when he wanted to make $2,000 a month hauling junk, I was thinking in my head, "Oh, good luck with that." But I didn't, poop in his Cheerios. So I didn't tell you that I was feeling that way, but I was like, maybe someday. But like he crushed that the first month. So to me, success really.
It's having freedom, having the freedom you want.
Yeah. So there really isn't like a money number on it, because you could have all the money in the world and not feel successful. So to me, success is just balancing everything, having freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Like Thursday, you can go fishing.
Thursday, I'm going fishing. The 18th, I'm going fishing. And the 23rd, I'm going fishing.
So just being able to do what you want to do, and so we can still line jobs up, and Julio and another worker, sometimes his wife works with him, can go and handle jobs while we're doing something else. So that feels very successful when you're able to, do that. And throwing events like the expo is so incredibly rewarding, because and you've felt this too. When you're there, it feels really, if you feel like you're meeting family, friends, you're meeting people that you've only seen online, and seeing them in person is really cool. Being able to take pictures with people or shake their hands and just sit with them and find out like what is working for them. What are things that they've encountered that you could avoid? Like, oh, I haven't had that happen yet. Wow, I'm going to try to do this so that doesn't happen to me. Or how have they achieved certain things? We've watched people, and we've liked how certain people have done things. And that's when we'll ask people to be like speakers and stuff, because we feel that we can also learn from them. So just being like, I thought last expo was successful.
It was.
This one's definitely going to be better. It's 2 full days, and we learned as we went. There's a few things that went wrong last time that I felt could have been better, that we're definitely going to implement this time. So, you learn as you go. But what else are we striving for?
Well,
so go ahead.
No, I was going to say, realistically, the reason we asked that question, I think you guys answered it perfectly, because I think in the beginning, everyone's success is make money, right? Like, let's make some money. Let's make this business profitable. Let's, make a living off of this. And then as you become more successful, you're getting all of that. Your definition, even if you're hitting your goals, your definition of what is successful changes, because now you're buying back your time, you're buying your freedom, you're doing bigger and better things. Now it's like you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it for others, where you're helping people and you're making a statement, and you're providing that service not to just your clients, but to your friends and people in the industry, and like you are helping those. So it's interesting to hear. I think that was a perfect, there's no right answer to that, obviously, but it was a perfect way to show that as you evolve, your definition of success changes, because it's no longer just like a black and white, like, I make $300 a day, I'm good. It's more like a feeling now, and you can describe it more based off your wants and your dreams versus just like a simple look at the QuickBooks and say, I made my goal today. That's success. No, it's more like I can support my family. I can go fishing. I can, do this whole huge event for people. And that is now defining our success.
Yeah. So after the event, what defines how that is successful is when we get calls later on and people are saying, man, I landed this job, or I implemented these things, and now I have like this contract and I'm doing this. Thank you so much, because I like making more money now because I was able to implement some of the things that I learned. And so to me, that's successful. And we love it. Just feels really good throwing the event, because it's very helpful to others, and it's helping them grow their business. And that feels so rewarding. That's so rewarding.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I never in my life imagined my life being as good as it is now. Like 10 years ago, when I was homeless on the streets before I went to jail and everything, like I never thought, hey, if I fast forward 10 years later, I'd be owning a house, throwing a Junk Expo event, having a YouTube channel. I have firefighters, cops call me up saying, hey, you inspire me, da, 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 da. I'm like, really? Like, damn, like I'm touching people. I had no idea. So I feel blessed right now to the fullest.
Yeah.
I couldn't ask God for anything else. Like I have everything in my life that I ever wanted. I got the Jojo, I got the nice house, I got the boat, I got the truck, I got money in the bank. I can take my family out without looking at the bill. I'm good. There's nothing else I really need. I feel totally blessed. The only thing I'm looking at now is just staying healthy and not turning into like a lazy person that gets out of shape and just unmotivated. And the only thing I want now, I got a big goal now, a real big goal.
Yeah, he does.
So you want to tell him what it is, Jojo?
Well, he eventually.
This is the main goal right here.
This is real. So
you got to think big. You can't think small. So I think big. This is the goal.
So a forever home on a lake. That's what he wants.
Cash.
That's what
all cash.
To be able to pay cash
all
for
cash.
a forever home on a lake.
No
we don't know
payments.
where that.
Yeah, we're not sure yet.
What lake depends.
Yeah, but we'd like to pay cash for it.
So that's the goal.
That's an awesome goal, especially in this market.
Right?
But would that be in California, or would you try to go like Midwest or like Tennessee or something?
So we're not quite sure yet. We're going to travel a lot more. I know we liked Texas a lot. Texas was cool. We went to Rockport, but the weather out there can be dangerous. So we're not sure yet.
My daughter lives in Idaho.
Idaho. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you never know. We don't know yet.
Yeah. I lean towards that because, she's out there and grandkids are out there.
Let me just say this, Chris. We got a long, hard grind ahead of us to make it happen. But we're going to do it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I believe so.
I am kind of curious, though. With the mention of freedom of time, that's like the main thing I like about the business is I was even telling Tanya a while back. It's like if we had to go back and do something, like the thing that would hurt me the most is not having that freedom of schedule. Like I like the fact that I need to take Tuesday off or something, I could do that. I just book jobs around it. Or like, if we want to go for a weekend trip somewhere, we could just not schedule jobs for that weekend. Mm-hmm. I love that flexibility because I never had that throughout my early 20s going into my previous jobs. Like as a mover and when I did catering, there were no days off. When I worked multiple jobs through college, it's hard to take off of multiple jobs because it's not an easy factor. Like I never had PTO or anything. So having that freedom has always been like a huge thing for me. But when you mention that's something that you guys have been kind of, I guess maybe being more appreciative about, what's keeping you from hiring additional employees to where you two can both get off the truck? Because you have Julio and sometimes someone works with him, but what's keeping you from having both trucks occupied so you guys can bounce off?
Yeah, there's a few things. You want to do one?
So I'm trying to put as much money in my pocket as possible right now. And then we still got to make YouTube videos. So YouTube brings us in money too. YouTube opens up so many doors. So I can't make videos if I'm out there, if I'm sitting at home. I mean, I guess I could sit in a pickup truck and make videos. So I look at it like this, like I want to stack as much money as possible since I was 15 to 35 years old. All I did was sell drugs. It's time for Mr. Matt Vick to work. You know what I mean? So I'm not scared of hard work at all. So that's one reason I want to be able to make videos, put more money in my pocket, and reach my goals even sooner. And for me, I don't want 5 dump trucks. If I wanted to buy another dump truck all cash, I can do it. If I want to spend $5,000 a month on Google Ads, I can do it. I don't want the fucking headache. I want to be able to take time off whenever I want. Most of our days are a lot shorter than other people's days. Like we might only work 5 to 6 hours, and it doesn't feel like it's work to me. And we're still making $2,500, $3,000 that day. To me, that's living life.
Yeah. Yeah, because we get asked that a lot, and so, I mean, even in comments, some people will be rude. You should have scaled by now. You're not that successful if you're still on the trucks. I'm like, wait a second, that's a decision that we're making. Like we could hire somebody else. Your profit margins become lower. Obviously, we are an S corp, so we're on payroll, and having people on payroll, you have workers' comp. We hire another employee that's another person on payroll. It's another person to add to workers' comp. So yes, businesses do it, and you do that as you grow. But we really enjoy doing junk removal. So if we really enjoy it and we come across things that we could bring home and resell, and I'm kind of really into mutual funds and stocks right now, and that I'm having fun with that. And so, with extra money, I'm like putting things in that. And with YouTube, we don't really need that money, so it goes into mutual funds and stocks, and we're kind of watching that account really grow. And I'm not ready to not do that. And plus, we have that forever home vision that we want to pay cash for. So the longer we stay on the trucks, the more money we're making for sure.
And then also YouTube videos is like having a stock that's always going to go up. Every video I post, it might make me $10, $20, $50, maybe $1,000. But the more videos we put out there, guess what? People are always going to watch it. It's going to open up more doors, and we're always going to get paid off of it. And you never know what video is going to take off. You just don't know.
Even while you're sleeping, there's people in another country watching your videos, and you're getting paid.
So we never would have thrown the Junk Expo unless it was for our YouTube channel. We never would have done our coaching unless it was for our YouTube channel. I never would have had connections with certain sponsors.
We wouldn't have met you.
We wouldn't have met you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
So YouTube opens so many damn doors. A lot of people don't get it. Like it opens doors. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's much more than just, putting a video out there. It's opened up a lot of doors.
And it's fun too. I know you guys have fun making videos, right?
Yeah.
Chris likes it. I'm still getting used to it.
I mean, it kept me afloat when I was doing everything solo, because even Tanya, she was like, I can't believe you used to do this by yourself. Like, you have no one to talk to. Like, you're just by yourself all the time. And I was like, yeah, but like I was doing the videos, and like in a way, it's like I'm talking to people while I'm here, even if you're just talking to yourself. But then like you relive it when you watch it. But yeah, it's definitely enjoyable task to do, and there's no harm in it. I mean, worst case, it's SEO, even if it doesn't take off. But I'm glad you guys mentioned the schedule thing, because that's actually something we're kind of pushing towards. We're still kind of in the works a bit, but I like the idea of like starting like maybe a little later in the morning and finishing like at 4 o'clock, because our dumps close at 5 anyways, and they're closed on weekends. So if we can just maximize our days between like, let's just say a 6-hour span, that gives us opportunity to 3 to 4 loads comfortably with donation and dump. And that's plenty of money a day to make. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely trying to like find a good work-life balance to where we don't feel like we're burning ourselves out. I like the idea of staying on the smaller side, pocketing money, growing, maximizing the different opportunities of junk removal, whether it's resale or, finding people to buy stuff for us so we don't have to do the work and spend time on Facebook, and just try to maximize everything and bulk it down for a few years and then find like an exit maybe. Tanya has slightly different visions, but
I
yeah,
Go
what
ahead.
are your visions?
No, I don't know what my visions are yet, right? It's because, so we're doing this, we are successful, we're busy, things are busy. And there's some days we are working a full house clean out and we're doing the whole clean out. And it's a 12-hour day, no break, no food, like, and so those are the days that I'm like, this is kicking my ass, realistically, right? It's kicking my butt. And so I'm like, I want kind of what you guys have. And one of my questions is realistically where, there's a big difference between someone who's just a solo entrepreneur. They're doing the business by themselves. They're doing the jobs by themselves. Maybe they have like a 1099 here or there. And then there's a difference to the people who have like 5-6 trucks on the road. And they're not even really on the jobs. They're just kind of managing a team. And there's that like nice middle. And I feel like you guys provide a lot of resources for the people starting off. And you provide a lot of resources for the people who are bigger names, but like kind of those middle people where like you're doing it, you're comfortable doing it. You don't mind staying small, but you don't want to be like, you get to go fishing every Thursday. I want to be able to say like, we're going to take a day off and that's fine. We can still have the business running. We don't lose money. Cause like if I leave and if we go on vacation, no one's making money, right? The jobs aren't getting done because we're both occupied. So I guess that middle ground is still being able to make some money while we're able to leave a little bit for a day or two versus, we are it, I guess.
So we got the baby maker in the building. That's the best team player. Hey, I love the Julio. And just so you guys know, he's on the YouTube payroll now. He's getting money every month.
nice.
That guy right there, hey, he's wearing his cowboy hat with his mullet. He is doing it. All the ladies love him too. Seriously. I love Julio.
That's why he has 10 babies.
Yeah. Hey, Julio, we love you.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the big decisions to make, right? Is when to grow and how,
What was the deciding factor for you guys, like when you decided to bring Julio on?
Well, when we knew we would make more money if we had another person. So we didn't really look at it like, can we afford another person? Are we going to be able to afford this other person? We just knew that we had the jobs coming in and we knew we'd be able to tackle more of them quicker and we would make more money having another person.
So one thing you want to do is let the market tell you when to grow. And if you do ever hire someone, treat them right. Take care of them. They're part of the team. They're the one that's going to take care of you too. You know what I mean? And like having the Julio as a team player, like I never had a job as good as he got. You know what I mean? Like seriously, we take care of the Julio. I mean, he is the best guy for our team for sure. Like I feel like we built a real good team. He's good on camera. He takes care of the customers. He's a go-getter. He's not slacking. He knows, hey, Matt, we got 5 jobs on the schedule. Let's figure out how we're going to knock all these out so we can get home at 12 o'clock. So that'll be our goal. Hey, he's on salary. He's still getting paid no matter what. So we're not being lazy. We're out there we're some go-getters. We knock shit out, make shit happen, and just figure it out. And
so one thing I would do though is because he didn't start.
Sorry, he said Papa.
Papa. That threw me off. I was going to say something brilliant.
Were you really?
No, I don't know. So Julio didn't start off with us full time. So he, he was actually in our apartment complex. He was our neighbor and he kept asking Matt, hey, you need any help? You need any help? Oh. And it took us a long time to like give him a chance.
I'm not going to lie. I thought he was lazy as hell, just a stoner sitting in the car. He would always ask me, hey, Matt, you need some help? You need some help? I was like, nah.
We're good. But so what he did was he just came and he worked part-time. When we had big jobs, he helped. So that brings me to when you said you had a whole house clean out, you guys are working 12-hour days. What you could do is keep your eye out. I don't know. Have you ever used anybody part-time?
Yeah, we use 1099s right now. So we have one guy who actually Chris met off of you. He reached out to him because of his, I think, YouTube, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and he asked just to like shadow him almost, on a couple of jobs. And so he has his own like moving company, junk removal company now, but they still use each other on jobs, which is great as 1099s. And then we just started on our last clean out because I said like we need that third person to make the time shorter. Use someone, and there's a teaching component of it, right? To make sure they understand what to do, how to talk to customers. But I would say in Florida, it's really, I'm sure it's hard everywhere. And I know Sarah on our last live asked about this, like, how do you get the people, even with treating them right, they see that you're doing well, they see how much money you're making in a sense. How do you get them to stick with you versus just starting their own, junk removal company?
You got to take care of people, treat them right, take care of them, make sure they're getting paid. Don't just don't treat them shitty. You know what I mean? Give them tips, let them make money, have them start making YouTube money with you. I mean, if they're part of the team, they're part of the team. You got to take care of them. So you don't want to just hire someone and just, you really want to take care of people that take care of you. That's the biggest thing. If someone's taking care of you, make sure you take care of them.
And I would, because you're probably not at a point where you would need a full-time person, just probably here and there when you have the bigger jobs. So I would just calculate how much it's going to cost having that other person on at those jobs and kind of put that into the pricing. That way it's not really coming a huge amounts coming out of your profit. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, and then I would just really see, are they easy to work with? Do they take direction well? Are they, to me, you got to be positive. I don't want to work with a downer. I don't want to work with somebody that's just complaining about like the smell and the mess and, just like get in there and tackle it. So find somebody that you really like and enjoy working with and start taking the time to like train them and use them when you need them. That way, when the time comes to hire that person full time, that you've really like worked with them and you think they're a good fit. I'm a firm believer in not hiring somebody without first giving them a trial run.
And I've worked with a bunch of people, and I would say Julio is the only one I would trust with the pickup truck, with the dump truck. That's why we got him a dump truck. I worked with Baby Jesus. I love Baby Jesus. I worked with the redneck. Hell no, not give him the keys to a dump truck. My brother, oh, hell no. He's on his phone all the time driving. Screw that. But the Julio, very responsible. He knows that truck is his truck. That's our moneymaker. That's how we eat. He has 20 babies. If he crashes that, hey, how are we going to feed all the babies?
Yeah, he's just
every time.
He takes pride in what he does. And you can tell that he's very proud of the company. And I think he's very proud that he works for Sonoma Strong. And it really comes across with his attention to detail when he's at properties and stuff. So, and he's saying, man, he loves this job. No matter how bad the jobs can get, they're always a new adventure. Yeah, he's always ready to, let's just do it. We got it. We got it.
So we're doing that hoarder house, right? I'm like, hey, you might want to quit after this shit. He's like, really? I said, yeah, we're probably not going to get the job. And then like what? A day later, I said, guess what? We got the job. He's all, really? I said, yeah. We went over there, looked at it. He's all, it ain't that bad. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. It was horrible. Straight shit show for sure.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Those are the best though.
So, I know we talked a lot about like all the success of the business, but we also want to know like what's one of the failures you guys had that really like changed you or helped learn from it, or something that like you guys were like, damn, this went wrong, but we know better now?
I would say when I first started out, I wasn't showing up in uniform. I was getting lowballed. I didn't play the part. I didn't look like the big boys. So once I started looking more professional with cleaner vehicles and decals, I was able to charge more money. And then tackling certain jobs I would never tackle again, like dirt jobs, concrete jobs. I'll never, ever do that shit ever again.
Chris hates those too.
Yeah, I'm
Those things will
good.
destroy your axles. In your truck.
One time we were parked kind of close to a car, and we thought, oh, we'll be careful. We've got this. It's okay. We didn't make them move their car, and we were, putting things in the dump truck, and we had one of those plastic shed doors, and we went to toss it in the back, and it just, I don't know if the wind came or what, but it just kind of missed the truck and kind of went over, and it hit the car. And
oh my gosh, it was horrible. $2,000 later. It cost me $2 damn grand.
Because we paid out of pocket. We didn't make it go through the insurance because your insurance will go up. And worst case scenario, it was a 16-year-old car. It was a car that she got for her graduation, and she had just graduated. And
Of course.
so we learned a policy is, yes, please move your car. even if you think like you have it and it's safe and it's not that close. Yeah.
I think a lot of people learn from like kind of sticking to your guns on certain policies. We had a time where we don't take paint, and that's pretty strict, but we had a huge clean out, and it was for a realtor we knew, and we took the paint and it dripped on the driveway, and we have a video on that because
so we did a job on a Tuesday, Wednesday. The house showing was on Friday
for closing.
Yeah, for the closing, like the people are gonna come and like check it all out, make sure everything's okay. And we're like, it's like 8:00 at night on Wednesday, and like the last couple of things that we have, and we're coming out the door, and I had thrown like some spray paint cans and stuff into a black bag inside of a box, and I guess the pressure of everything broke the nozzle off the spray paint can, sprayed out. I guess there was a rip in the bag, I don't know, leaked through the box from the front door, bright blue paint from the front door down this like whitish color, like beige concrete path into the driveway, which is pavers, which is much harder to get off, all the way down to the truck in a strict HOA neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
And
I think I've seen that video you posted.
yeah, we immediately started scrubbing it, hosing it off, spent like an hour on it, couldn't do anything. I sent a video to the realtor. I'm like, we're going to figure it out. And I'm calling a pressure washer guy, answered the phone, came out the next day.
Great guy.
Yeah, we recommend him all the time now, and he's on work for us too. He was able to get it off of like the bright, like the white pathway, so at least it wasn't crazy obvious. And then we went back Thursday night at like 6:00, spent like 3 hours with a drill and a little scrubby brush, using all these different formulas, and just little by little ran down this whole line of like a 30-foot driveway. And we got it off for the most part, but it was one of those situations where it's like, this is why we don't do this shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like it wasn't a big cost for us. Like the pressure washer guy charges like $50 to come out.
I think like with materials and everything, we paid up to like less than $200.
It was a little way.
It was more time. Yeah.
It was probably like $130, and then like a couple of hours over time. But it was just one of those stupid situations where it's like, this is why we don't do that.
Yeah.
I do see a lot of people online, like on the, junk removal groups say like, hey, this customer wants me to do this thing. I usually don't do it. Should I? And a lot of the feedback is no, stick to your guns, stay to your rules, do what you do. Because once that one time you make like an exception, it could, go to the dumps. So we learned that. Cool. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah. So I had a question. So when it comes to business, whether it was early on or even just recently, what's the biggest risk that you've taken in business, whether it worked or not? And then how'd you kind of learn from it in either way? And how do you think you would act on that going forward?
What a great question that is. So the biggest risk that we took,
I have one. was it really to me it was getting the second truck. I was unsure we needed it yet, because it's a big thing and it's a payment, and I'm such a cash person, oh, we'll just, we'll buy a truck cash, and everything's a profit and we won't owe anything. But with a dump truck, it's a little bit, difficult to do that. So it was that, but he was more like, look, even if both trucks aren't moving, what the worst case scenario is, we can park it and it could be a billboard, and it will at least do, 2 full loads a month. Like at the very least, it's going to pay for itself. And so he kind of, I felt better about doing it. But I would say that was a risk because, I really think we both kind of do. We don't ever act in haste with decisions and stuff. We sit and we really think about it. We do pros and cons. What's the best thing that could happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? And can we survive the worst thing? Like the very worst thing that can happen? Will we be okay if that happens? And that's how we kind of make our decisions.
Yeah, I'll say one of our biggest risks that we took was throwing the first Junk Expo because we had to come out of pocket and buy the building. I'm promoting it online. And you know how it is. If you throw an event and no one shows up and you got a few people showing up, guess what? You can't hide that shit. So
absolutely. You're right with that.
That's the biggest risk I think we took was renting out a building, paying for all of that, the stage, the DJ. We
had to fork out a lot of money before a ticket was ever sold. So we had to believe
in ourselves
that they would come, right? We had to believe that because we were forking out, the music person, the food person, the event place, the stage, everything, know. And we're like, okay, well, I think we'll sell tickets.
I knew we would. I'm like, we're going to sell tickets for sure. But that's a big risk to take.
Yes, it was.
I can imagine it's probably like wedding costs. So I have an idea in my head of probably how much that was. That's definitely a scary number without having like a guarantee.
Yeah, no guarantee. There's no guarantee in life. But if you want to get something or go somewhere in life, you got to take that risk.
You do have to, you have to take risks for certain things to happen.
Now let's talk about the Junk Expo. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's so funny because I was like, we're already kind of transitioning into it. Let's talk about it.
So let's talk about the biggest risk we ever took in our life, the Junk Expo 2025. So we rented out a bigger place so we can fit 500 people in the building. We're going to have 20 plus vendors there. We got people flying in from the Philippines, Brazil. We got 12 guest speakers that are killing it in the game.
And it's 2 days.
And it's a 2-day event for the same price.
We didn't change the price.
So there's going to be 4 food trucks when you pull up, 4 food trucks outside so people can choose what they want. Then when you walk in, you'll see the dump trailer giveaway, which there's 1 day left for that for a free entry fee. If someone wants
somebody's walking away with a $10,000 dump trailer.
Which is always very popular. Like I feel like anytime they say free dump trailer, there's a ton of people. So that's awesome.
So it's going down. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. So we have 12 speakers this time, and we made it 2 full days because one of the things, like I said, you learn. One thing I learned from the last one we did was there really wasn't enough networking time. And once the speakers started, it was speaker after speaker after speaker to try to get everybody there. We just didn't have the time. We just had a short amount of time at the event space that we had. So this time it's at the fairgrounds. It's much bigger and it is 2 full days. So there's lots of networking time. There's lots of time to walk around and see the vendors, the trucks, the trailers, way more vendors than last time because we have the room. And the speakers, we have Matt and I, and we didn't speak last time. We welcomed people and we introduced speakers, but we didn't speak. And what we're doing is, because we do have a coaching class that we do that is 6 full weeks of coaching, and it's $1,000. But here at the event, we're doing what we teach on the first day, and that's all about branding. And there's surprising things that are important in branding that people often overlook. And so we're actually speakers this time, and we're speaking on branding, how we did it, how we implement it. And then there's Xavier, who spoke last time, but he's going to talk about Google Ads and AI, because AI is so popular right now that he's going to show you ways you can implement AI in your business. And then there's Lewis, that's doing SEO strategies that you could take home and do on your own. And we have Dan from Dan's Holloway, and he's going to show you how he collaborates with people in his local, the businesses in his local community to like grow his business. He's done some interesting stuff. And I'm like, I've never thought to do that. So we have him. We have Abel, who's doing PR, public relations, because he has done things in his community that hasn't cost anything, but he's really the go-to junk removal person in his community because of the things that he's done through public relations. We have Toby Stubbs, who's talking this time on ways to save money on your insurance. He has tips that you don't really think about either. And you're like, wow, okay, that's going to save me some money. We have David with Junk MD, who's been making really cool Facebook and Instagram content surrounding his business. And he's going to show us, you know, how he's done that. And we have Adam Chesney that's going to talk about Google My Business Profile and how you can dominate that, things you can do to dominate that. We have Jake Steele that is going to talk about team development. He's an expert in it. So he has a team that is motivated to grow his business. And so he's going to teach us, you know.
And they're doing over $4 million a year. $4 million a year.
Wow. We have Robert Allen, who's a business growth expert, and he's going to talk about maybe some common pitfalls, some mistakes that he's made along the way, and he just wanted to like teach others so that they didn't make the same mistake.
And he's been in the business for over 20 years. He's actually garbage guys out there in Arizona. So he has a lot of knowledge for sure.
We have Barry Hartman, who is going to talk about business scaling and how to create a business that runs without you. So,
and he is a killer right there. Let me tell you, he makes $5 million a year. He's killing it out there.
Yep. And of course, there's Andrew that's talking about autopilot and CRMs and the importance of it. And I'm just telling you, Junk Expo 2025 is the place to be if you are in the trash business. Period.
It doesn't matter how much money you're making, how many trucks you're running. It's going to be the place to be if you're brand new in the business or you're running 5 trucks. Everyone's going to be there.
I had somebody ask, I haven't started my junk removal business yet. Is the Junk Expo still a place I should go to? And I was like, yes.
Even more so.
In the game, if like, you know, there's so much that we've learned in these 7 years that to have gone to an event like that right when we were first starting, we would have grown faster. Like we would have just known what we were.
It's all the connections that you make. Like I met Andrew at JunkCon. I met you guys at the Haulers Ball that didn't go down, but you make great connections with people. You know what I mean? You just never know. Like Toby Stubbs, we met him at the Junk Expo when he came out.
Yep.
Super cool guy. Now, whenever anyone hits me up for insurance, guess what? I shoot him to Toby. But if he didn't come to the expo, I never would have knew about him, really.
Yeah.
I know, you know, it's awesome to hear that there's going to be more networking because I think that's so vital. Who are you most excited to like hear speak?
Oh my gosh.
Not to make you choose a favorite child.
Wow. That's a really good one because I really handpicked some of these because I couldn't wait to like meet them and talk to them. So.
I think they're all going to be good. I'm looking forward to Abel talking, David talking, Adam talking, Jake talking. Damn, all of them really.
Yeah.
I heard Xavier and Andrew already. I talk to them all the time, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the networking part. Really, these are all like the icing on the cake, but just meeting everyone else that just shows up, the YouTubers, the people on Facebook, just those connections is going to be super cool.
Yeah. And Barry Hartman, really, because he's talking about scaling your business and how to make it run, get it to run without you. And he showed us that that's what he does, because he's not on his trucks anymore at all. Actually, where was he? He was on a balcony, wind was blowing, the ocean was behind him, and he was living life. Life. I was like,
and
wow.
he's only 37 years old, killing the game, killing it out there.
Yeah. So the trucks were running.
Okay. I'm gonna say Barry
he was
Hartman.
on the beach and his trucks were running. So I really want to know more about how to do that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Sounds like every business owner's dream.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I remember the Junk Expo from, was it JRA, North Carolina? That
Junk Con.
That was different. It felt a little bit more commercialized. Like we learned some stuff. But I will say the Junk Expo in Sonoma in 2024, that felt a little bit more personable, and it felt a little bit more of it was easier to go up and talk to people, especially not being so spread out there like a huge convention center. And I felt like it was just as much a learning, because like, I mean, at that place they had like BNI, they had a lot of like insurance and like things that you could use, but it didn't feel like it was an everyday kind of service. I think who you had at the first expo was perfect, because everyone that talked was pretty much something that everyone needs, even like at the basic, and amplify on it even as they grow too. So definitely looking forward to this year. It sounds like you guys are basically going to be doubling everything. So we're looking forward to it.
I mean, I will say, like what you said earlier, is whether you don't even have a truck yet, like you just decided you want to start a business versus like being able to be on the beach and have your business still running. It's such a huge range, which is nice because you meet so many different people. And I mean, at the last expo, we got to meet, for me specifically, I know about Chris's YouTube, but I'm not that involved. Seeing how many people like knew him from YouTube and seeing like all the, I guess it was the networking and the connection. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of like one-on-one time to talk to everybody and meet everyone, but I will say you guys hosted something where it felt like a collective, and it was just, it had a warm feeling to it that was nice, and it really made junk removal not just like a job or something you start to make money. It's a business, it's life, it's a career. So I thought that was really great. So I'm very excited for the next one.
Well, thank you. And that's what we were striving for, really. Especially with the speakers, we want people, you know, we really took our time in picking people, because I want everybody to be able to walk away, you know, learning some things that they could implement into their business, whether you're just starting or whether you are running multiple trucks. So we really wanted something for everybody. And this year we're going to have YouTube spots, right? So people, the YouTubers can people as they come in, they can meet YouTubers that they've been watching. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
it's going to be going down for sure. I can't wait. That's all we talk about. Junk Expo,
we
YouTube, Junk Expo, YouTube, Junk Expo. And if you can see, even though Julio's talking about the Junk Expo, he had a great time too.
Yeah,
he had no idea how much love he had.
He said it was one of the best days of his life, he said.
Aww. Do you guys want to talk about some of the giveaways that's going to be happening?
So there's the first day. I can't talk about that one yet. We haven't mentioned it yet.
We haven't even mentioned one of and it's actually a really, like, people are really going to like it.
So one giveaway is going to be a dump trailer that Autopilot's giving away. It's a $10,000 dump trailer. That will be on day number 2. That will be the giveaway.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll do similar to what we did last time, where we throw some, you know, Trash Talk, Trash Life t-shirts and Junk Expo t-shirts. out into the audience. And yeah, the very first day, at the end of the first day, there's a big giveaway that we're doing too, but we haven't really talked about that or hyped that up. And there'll probably be some tools again and stuff.
Yeah, I think Autopilot's giving away 20 tools to the last people that bought tickets recently. They're getting tools, sawzalls,
Yeah.
and then we'll be having more giveaways too. But we're gonna like kind of feed it to the people little by little.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
It's 6 months away. We got to keep the energy up.
Yes. Yes. I'm sure it'll stick. Yes.
Well, we appreciate you having you guys on here. We're gonna let you guys go because I know forget about it. Yes, is going on right now. We're gonna get into that as well. But we appreciate you both coming on and taking the time for us. And we're looking forward to the expo.
Yeah. And if you're interested in getting tickets, it's junk-expo.com.
So anyone out there, go to
Junk
was it junk what?
Dash
expo.com. There you
.com.
go. All right. We take it easy. We appreciate it. There it is. Oh, you did it wrong. Look, you did it wrong.
There's a dash.
There's a dash.
There's
Come
a dash.
on now.
We had to do a dash.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
We'll put it in the link too. I think Chris has been adding it to his videos as a link. So just click on that. But
we appreciate
thank
that.
you guys. It's always fun catching up with you. Can't wait to see you.
All right. You guys take it easy.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Matt and Jojo.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Bye, guys.